Our vision at Parafield Gardens High School is emerging with three very distinct areas: school efficacy, teacher efficacy and student efficacy. For us, student efficacy is about that extra layer that we think students are going to need in a rapidly changing world. So we always value the subject-specific knowledge that our students get through learning areas and the really deep engagement with literacy and numeracy improvement. We also think that self-efficacy for our students is the ability to learn, to transfer their knowledge into new and unfamiliar settings, to set and reflect on goals, and to be aware of what metacognitive strategies they're using to be successful in their learning. In order to develop self-efficacy in our students, it's really important that our teachers also have a level of efficacy, and that means that we have to develop some systems and structures in order for that to take place.
So we want to teach students how to know that even though they can't solve all the problems that they're going to encounter, they can make a good start, they can come up with some great ideas, they can do creative thinking, and they can try and explore the world around them. And in order to do that, we want teachers who do that as well. And one of the ways that we've done that is by timetabling a leadership development program. So all our B1 leaders sit down and they talk about their curriculum and what they want to do with their curriculum, but also how that can build students to be critical and creative thinkers, how they can look at solving problems, how they can overcome setbacks and look at challenges as something that they want to succeed in and overcome.
School efficacy is trying to get the systems, structures and processes really well organised, coordinated from the calendar through to the professional learning cycle that we work with the staff so that it's done in a timely way and a relevant way, well in advance of a compass, for example, being delivered in term 2, that the PD for those types of things would be in term 1. And then we try to resource and scaffold what it is we're doing in terms of expected outcomes for teachers, being really clear for the students, having things on DayMap and the parental communication available so they know what their learners are doing and they know where their learning journey is going and can see it in real time in terms of results as well.
So we've had to look at the enablers for this work to actually happen. We've got our big goals about student efficacy, school efficacy and teacher efficacy. We've had to really examine how can we actually make that work happen. And these are very aspirational goals, but some of our work had to be focused around setting the foundation for that to happen. So we've had a really, really deep analysis of our curriculum. We've ensured that all students are getting what they're entitled to as far as the Australian curriculum goes and the general capabilities. Our next step was to really look at the pedagogies that enable self-efficacy. So at the moment we are looking at explicit teaching and gradual release of responsibility as a foundational pedagogy, so we can move towards a more aspirational pedagogy of collaborative learning, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, developing the collaborative capacity of our students through our pedagogies.
Part of the things that we've been doing with some of our students is like breaking that down into know, think, do charts. So asking our students as well, if you need to be able to do this in class, what do you need to know to be successful? So the kids have to reflect back on their learning. And then we ask students, well, what do you need to think? And that's the metacognition, which builds student efficacies. And then the last thing we ask them is, okay, you know what you need to know, you know what you're thinking, what are you going to do to get there? And that helps the kids direct their own journey.
So the capabilities compass is this table which helps students see what work we've done and how we can improve on any work that we may have missed or not done as well in.
So the next year or the next grade, you can just reflect on how you've done.
It helps with my learning, like using the compass to figure out where to go right and where to go wrong. The strategies in the compass are like you get to plan out what you really have to do, and like you can timetable it and like put it into a table so you know when you have to do stuff, and like you can make time to do the stuff that you need to improve on.
Kept me on track, and my grades have definitely gone up since I've been using the compass.
So So the Capabilities Compass is a product, but actually what's more important is the process that the students are going through to set and reflect on their goals. So yes, there is an end product, it's a tangible thing that the students have access to and can share with people, but the process for them putting their grades in, talking to the teachers about how they can be successful in their learning, those small incremental steps that they take towards achieving their goals, that's the process and that's the really important part.
Yeah, we've made significant change in terms of our focus on pedagogical practice and making sure that the quality of teaching is, which we know is the biggest influence on student learning outcomes, is really well resourced, really well provided for in terms of professional learning, and we've enabled lots of structural processes to actually support that and make that a real priority for our learners and our teachers. I think the key focus or the key driver for this is actually ensuring that accessibility to the curriculum is available for our students. So we need to support our teachers through using the curriculum maps and the know, think, do tables and our universal design for learning approach, which effectively is the pedagogy plan. Incorporated into that, we're able to give our learners an opportunity to really engage with their learning tasks and therefore be more successful and more engaged.
So we have lots of different programs and pathways for students here at Parafield Gardens High School. We have a very individualised approach to student support, but we're also a very inclusive school. So while these programs and different structures exist, our aim is always to have all students included in the same curriculum and accessing the same level of learning that their peers are.
A common thread across all those programs would be helping students to be able to set goals, looking at their learning needs or their personal goals and finding out what works for them.
Basically, there's a set of capabilities of what can students do at different levels, so from year 8 right through to year 12. And we want students to be able to look at these capabilities and see where their relevance is to what they're doing at the current time. It's not just about the future because they're living right now. How can those capabilities help them right now and in the present, and how can they help them on their journey along to their future goals?
So working with Capabilities Compass, it helps create a more focus on when setting those goals for those students. It helps drive more interest or more specific intention for them, short-term, long-term goals.
I like Parafield Gardens High School because it supplies lots of choice in subjects and a lot of help from teachers and other students.
The people that help us with our work is either the teacher or the other students.
Everyone here likes to help each other out in most ways they can. If you're struggling with one subject, it's best to see if anyone else can help you with it.
Whenever I have a proposal, an idea, I feel like I'm always listened to and I'm always guided into the right direction. I definitely feel like students that are in control of their own learning, because through the Capability Compass we're able to track where we are, where we want to be and how we're going to get there. Usually doing this through setting goals. I feel that setting goals really helps me because I can prioritise what I need to prioritise and also have time to do other things outside of school.
I see students setting and reflecting on their goals as being really central to the Capabilities Compass, and it's an opportunity for the parent to support and understand what their learner's trying to do and where they're trying to go. It's an opportunity for the home group teacher, who will be the learning coach, to be able to give them opportunities to celebrate where they've done really well and provide strategies and ideas around how they can best utilise their school time or learning support that we have available to maximise their chance of success.
I think that what's happened from the time that I first came here is that the students have been encouraged more to be responsible for their own work and their own learning. Even though they've got us as teachers, as mentors and people who guide them, we're putting the responsibility back onto the student. So we have to be open, we have to be relevant. So what we're teaching the kids has to be relevant and usable.
Some of these changes I see in the school is that each year we're getting into a really warm climate. kids are engaging with teachers. They want to come to school, they want to learn. We have a big diversity of students from different backgrounds. They mix together and it's just harmony. It is great to see.
I think that, that's what's not missing here, is that if you can have a relationship with the students and connect to them where they are right now, have an understanding of what the current issues are for teenagers, a bit of their lingo, understand how to use their mobile phone, their Instagram and all that sort of stuff. It's about connecting with kids. Once you connect with them, you can get anything that you need from them to connect to those capabilities. Okay, so the more we talk to them, the more we find out about them, the more they want to share with you. We get to know them a lot more, and then we find out, well, where are they? And where are the parts where they're not quite on track, and how can we get them there?
And I think that's the most important thing, is having good relationships, because that's what I see in my classes and other classes, that students can really engage in their learning because they can engage with the teacher.
So the overarching vision I have for our students at Parafield Gardens High School is that they become resilient and very capable learners, very confident in their own ability and confident to carry a range of skills forward post-secondary schooling into their employment and into their future family life and civic life. And we've thought long and hard about that and what resilience means and what can grow resilience in a child. We think that they need the ability to take a greater responsibility for their learning and control over their learning. And if they know how to learn, then they'll be more confident, and that'll help build resilience. So our work with Social Ventures Australia has really helped us to clarify what we're actually talking about in this space.
So for us to move forward next, it's embedding those processes now and making sure that those processes are habitual and common practice. And I think that's the real focus for 2020.
So we're achieving excellent progress towards our goals because of the time that we've given people to really engage with those goals. So we've built a shared understanding. We've created a culture where everybody's voice is very, very valued in our school improvement plans. So our leaders have definitely worked with their teams on their understanding of developing efficacy, of developing the ability to learn, and students being able to transfer their knowledge into new settings. So it's a whole school approach. Our students are also aware of our goals, as are our parents, and they're big supporters of our work and our action plan here at school.